Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Street Level Strategies. I am joined today by Ryan Schuett. She's an executive mortgage consultant at Prosperity Home Mortgage. How are you doing today, Ryan?
I'm well. How about yourself?
I'm doing so good. I'm so good. I'm really happy to have you here. I'm excited for this conversation. So let's go ahead and get started if you're good with that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, cool. Okay, so to give a little background on you for folks listening, so you've been with Prosperity for about 9 years now, and from what I know, that's the first intro into the mortgage industry. So you've been with Prosperity for 9 years, but also you've only been in the mortgage industry for 9 years.
Yeah, so I don't, they taught me everything. They coached me in the company, and I've loved it. So they took a chance on me just knowing some of my background, and
Yeah.
and so here we are, almost a
There you
decade
are.
later.
That's amazing. And what's really amazing about that is you've only been in the industry for 9 years. I mean, 9 years is a long time. Let's not say only 9 years, but been in the industry for 9 years. But you've also been a top producer. You've been President's Club member for the past couple years now. And hopefully, this year, it's looking like this year as well, too. So again, you've done an amazing job. I think this last year you did about $35 million, which is amazing. And you also close about 100, just over 100 units, which is awesome. So you are a superstar, and that's why I'm excited to get you on this conversation today and talk a little about how you are using, because I know that you and your team are using Total Expert and a lot of different other technology solutions to enhance your business and help you be more efficient in your day. So I'm excited to talk about that and just get into it.
All right, sounds great.
Do you want to talk through some of the things that you do on a daily basis that's making sure that you're going above and beyond for your clients?
Sure. So definitely like birthdays is a big thing. Even when I first meet somebody and it's the application, I'll look at their birthday. Maybe it's because I'm a numbers person, and then I'll put it into, I just had it happen yesterday. Oh, your birthday's on March 3rd. We're going to have like a big month, we're buying a house for your birthday, trying to tie something personal to it. And then if they're already in my journey, I look to see if whose birthday is coming up. Like, as long as it's not on a weekend, I try to call them before it's their birthday. Be like, hey, do you have any big plans for this week? I know your birthday is coming up. And they seem to be shocked by that because they're just like, wow, she called me before my birthday. Like, not the birthday text message.
Yeah.
We still send the birthday email, but she took the time to reach out before. And
I think that's really cool.
Yeah. So I try to do that. And then, so using a lot of our platforms, we can filter by interest rates. And of course, the last 2 years have been just really challenging for everybody. And I think having the customer service really makes you stand out, because their servicer is going to reach out. Bob from Minnesota is going to reach out, sorry, Bob, if you're watching this, but they don't have that personal connection, with it. So we try to develop a friendship as well. That way they have somebody they trust. And I'm always completely honest. I'm not a very good salesperson. So I'm like, hey, if it's better with the other person, like, let's look at it together. Cause I'll be the first to tell you, but 9 times out of 10, it's not.
Yeah.
And they they like that you treat them as a person. I was going to say patient, previous life. You treat them as a person versus a loan number or an address or a paycheck.
Yeah. I think that's really cool. One of the things that we've been hearing a lot of the top producers doing, which I really like to hear that you're doing that as well, is leveraging the system to be able to go above and beyond and approach them when, hey, and maybe let's just talk through it. What are the other rates, or what are the other things that other people are saying that they can do for you? Is it better to do with me? I mean, just being able to approach them from a customer centric point of view and be able to say, hey, what are they giving you? Is that actually the best thing for you? Or, and I love that you're saying, I'm not coming out of a sales approach. I'm just coming out of, hey, I have a relationship with you. I want to make sure this is the best thing possible for you. And 9 times out of 10, I love it. And that's what I hear across the board is 9 times out of 10, they will be like, oh, you're right. This is better for me. What was going on, Yeah.
And if I do lose it, cause we can't win all of them. I even say, like, hey, what can I work on? Like, what can we work on to hopefully get the next one? And a lot of times it's just, they're so focused on interest rates that they're not looking at anything else. But a lot of those people call me afterwards. Afterwards doesn't help me, but it makes me feel good that they're like, it wasn't as good as we thought it was.
Yeah. That's awesome. So I love hearing how you're using specifically the system for those extra touch points. So the system obviously allowing you to have some data around your clients that you could go above and beyond. And maybe it's not the birthday text on the day of, but it's actually the week before to show that, hey, I've actually been looking in, I'm actually here, I care, I know it's your birthday. Or, hey, I saw this was going on, or here's where the rates are. How can I go above and beyond to support you? And that's kind of been the theme of what I've been seeing across the board is especially in where we are in the market where there's so much competition amongst loan officers. Really, it's how do I set myself apart from the rest? Like, that's how you're going to win the business. And so I love that you're doing that with your customers. But then let's also talk about the agents, because I know that you guys do a lot with your agents, and specifically around how can we support their listings? How can we support them with resources, co-branded materials and such for their listings, but also leveraging the automation to be able to, that's a really big value add to be able for your agents to know that, hey, we're communicating on behalf of you. We're giving you a notification when it is your client's birthday so that you can reach out as well. Talk a little bit about how you see Total Expert providing value to your agents as well.
Well, again, there used to be a lot of times where you had a lot of agents in your office, and just
Yeah,
as we've grown over the last couple of years, they've realized they don't have to go to an office anymore, but we still have to stay in touch with them. And that's
right.
where Total Expert can really be that bridge between the remote agents and the in-office agents to show them that you still care. And from a mortgage standpoint, everybody thinks we're always just about the buyers, but they're not all buyer agents. They're listing
Yeah.
agents, and just trying to show them like, hey, I'm here from you on a listing side. Let me show you what I can do for you.
Hmm.
Oh, with the open house flyers or
Yeah.
the seller 2-1 buy down flyers, just showing them in a unique way that you're just not after one side of their business, that you care about the other side. And then
Hmm.
it just evolves after that. So I love using the platform for that.
I love that you have the flyers
I
printed
know,
out
right?
as a visual here.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing. But I think what's really cool is you actually go in and you customize these, you bring them, you send them to the agents, and then at the bottom it's like, hey, if you have any questions on, you know, what these mean or what the different financing options are, give me a call. And that's promoting you, but it's also providing value to the agents. And, if they then want to come to you and, use you, that's a great value add.
Yeah. And it's not, what's nice about some of the materials, you can tag a video in it. So you don't
Yeah.
have to like write it out. So, that way it makes it more personal
Yeah.
to just them. And that way they're not like, God, Ryan just sent me another email. Like, she clicks on it, they listen to it, bam, they're done.
Yeah.
They can reference it back. It doesn't take too much time. I'd rather do a video than write an email. And the more
100%.
practice you do it, the less takes you have to take. So and at
100%.
that point, you're not perfect and you don't have to use a
Yeah.
filter with your face. So you're just like, screw
Yeah.
it. It's me. It takes me a minute. I'm done.
I just was talking to a few other originators, and I was telling them, I'm like, when it comes to video, I'm like, some of the hardest hurdles to get around is sitting down to actually write the email and like make it sound good. But there's just something about the efficiency of once you get over the fact of it's what you look like, it's what you sound like, then the video doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to write the most eloquent words. You don't have to try to figure out exactly how to say it. You just speak like you would speak to them. And also, it just provides a level of like human personalization, and it's quick and easy. And I love that you're talking about how efficient and quick it is to be able to do that
Well,
in the
also you
system.
don't know what they're going through on the other
Yeah,
side, because as you're typing an email, you know, how their day is going could interpret what your voice sounds like in that writing of that email. Where the video is
interesting.
you, and you don't have a sarcastic tone like they might have that day of, why is Ryan
Yeah,
being like this? Like, why is she being
yeah,
so mean? Like, I know how to do a listing. But if
yeah,
it's like, hey, like, then they know
yeah,
it's like, oh, that's
yeah.
just
It's the same reason why my husband and I don't text each other. We just call because I'm like, I want to hear it in your voice. I don't want to try to misinterpret what I might be having a bad day. And then if you
why
say
so many question
sure,
marks.
I might be like, or a period, I'm like, hey, are you mad at me? Same way. But that's actually interesting. I've never heard it that way ever from anyone. I'm like, I've never heard it even the same way as a client. Like they could also be having a day and
Exactly,
misinterpret your
exactly.
email. That's
Yeah,
so interesting.
and that's why I
Probably,
do a lot of
yeah,
videos because,
yeah,
I mean, I coach high school volleyball as well, and I have
yeah,
to deal with a lot of parents, and if
yep.
they're mad at you and that you write an email explaining something, your voice in their head can sound,
Hmm.
very contradictory or attacking, Where if I
Yeah.
send them a video, they know like, oh, she's, I'm
Yeah.
like, either talk to me in person or now I can use, technology to send a video. But
Yeah.
I could never talk to parents through email and that's where I learned it. I was like, that could
That's
happen in
amazing.
any place, like with clients
Any
or with
place.
agents. Yeah.
Yeah. How often do you send, and within what process of, is it specific groups? Is it your agents primarily, or is it in process clients? Where do you generally send a lot of those video touches?
Usually in the big milestones.
Okay.
Because no matter how many times you tell a buyer on the phone about the disclosures or the situation, they're going to forget. So it's like,
100%.
do the milestone, do it like for the appraisal, even from the listing standpoint,
Hmm.
to listing agents. And then, conditional approval, like all that stuff. So just different milestones.
Yeah.
Um, if I know an agent's just having a bad day, I'll just send them a goofy video, like not even having to
That's
do with
funny.
anything. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll put in the caption, "Don't open in public." Like, it's just something funny.
I
Like,
mean, that's a great way. I love these. These are very
yeah,
creative.
yeah.
But it's,
And
I think
clients have
what's,
reached out to me,
yeah,
like at the grocery store. They're like, "Oh my gosh, it's Ryan
so
from her
funny.
videos."
Wait, that's funny.
Oh yeah,
But
that's great.
what's really cool is what I'm like, you are really creative, and the relationship, you're very relationship driven, right? And so I know that probably comes a lot from like your past job as well, but a very, very relationship driven where it's not always about the transaction. I think that's where we lose sight of it. Is it's not always about that. It's about being the friend, being a person as well, cheering them up, being there for them as a human being rather than number first. And I think that's what you were mentioning earlier is like where it's not just a number. You're not just a loan file to me. You're actually a human being. And those video touches, those extra ways that you can love on them and show them that you care and are thinking of them, that is really what sets you apart as a top producer from other
Exactly.
loan officers who will just treat it like a loan number.
Yeah, and especially in the beginning when you're doing the pre-approval, it's like, "Oh, what's
Yeah.
driving this? Like, what's driving this purchase?" And then
Yeah.
that way you have that in the back of their mind where if inventory is low or if there are losing offers, you can always go back to why they're doing this
Hmm.
and just help them, and they're like, "All right, thank you." And it is that personal touch,
Hmm.
So
Yeah. I mean, think about when someone's coming in and they're getting pre-approved. There's a reason why they're doing what they're doing. There's a reason why they're searching for a home. There's always a reason, right? Whether it be families growing or they're downsizing or things are changing. So emotion is always driving the transaction. And I think to be able to get that up front and then understand it as the originator, so that you can always go back to that and you can always reference that and know, and you could treat them like a human being and be able to talk about it from a personal aspect.
yes, yes.
I love it. I love it. Well, Ryan, this has been awesome. I really, really appreciate you just jumping on and just sharing a little bit about your experience and how you do go above and beyond. I think that's extremely valuable to hear from a top producer. And so, I'm just thankful that you're hopping on. And I'm also just wish you the best of luck. And hopefully, we'll see you at President's Club again this year.
Yes. Oh, thank
But
you so much for having me. I had a blast with you.
of course, thanks, Ryan.
Okay, bye.